we are going to talk about uh, the concept of inheritance. So, this is basically one of the OOPS or object-oriented basic concept that are uh, commonly found in languages like C++, Python, Java, and it's a very interesting concept because inheritance is basically what we learn from our life. How the things are inherited from father to the child and from child to the grandchild, right? So basically that is the same concept that is applied into the programming languages like C++, Python, Java, as I said. And basically that creates or helps us to do the code reusing, cleaner design and easier maintenance, as I have written. So these are some of the basic advantages of having the multiple inheritance, sorry, the inheritance. Now, as you can see in the real life example, the parent actually inherits from the human, and basically the child inherits from the student. So basically student is also a human, and so it inherits the common feature from the parent, right? Now, what are the types of inheritance? So basically people have read and understood most of the time as commonly two inheritance, which are basically asked during the interviews also. Two, or you can say three, multiple, multi-level and hierarchical inheritance, right? uh, we are going to see it as five types of inheritance. That will be single inheritance, multiple inheritance, multi-level inheritance, hierarchical inheritance and hybrid inheritance. So these are the five types of inheritance that we are going to see. So first inheritance that we are going to have a look is the single inheritance, where basically one parent and one child. So, and basically child is inheriting from the parent, right? So let me showcase to you, how basically we do that. So let me save this file. So this is again our good old idle integrated development language engine, right? Where we do the coding for our uh, Python, right? So example of single inheritance. It is the basic level and the most easier one. In fact, I would say that it's a easier concept inheritance as in total. So if you get the thing that there are some qualities or features that you accept from your higher level classes or maybe from your parents or grandparents, so that is called inheritance, right? So we do the class, then followed by parent, and then in the parent you define def, let's say show, and as a method, and then we are doing a simple print statement that uh, this is the parent. Okay, now we create a child. Now this is the child. We do a display and then we do print this is the child. So in order to inherit the property that this particular child inherits the property of the parent, what we need to do is we need to call the parent class inside the child class, right? So this is how it's done in Python. Do the parent, okay, and then you do the this is child, right? Now what you need to do is just do this, create an object is equal to child, right? And sorry, my bad. And now if you do obj dot display sorry, what will you get? Okay, sorry, my bad, I actually forgot to put up self over here. Yeah, now. So now we got this is the child, right? So basically object dot display is basically telling you the child because this is the object of the child. But now if you want to call but now since it is inheriting the parents property also, so now let's say if I do obj dot show it will be able to call the parent also. So this is the child and this is the parent, right? So this is basically a very simple concept of inheritance, where the child is inheriting from the parent. Now if you want to make it multiple inheritance, right? So let us make this as a multiple inheritance. So what you're going to do is, the concept is the same. Just do a grandparent. We did a grandparent and this one, and then what we did was def gp, and then okay, give a self because it's inside the class and print this is grandparent. Okay, now what we are going to do is we are going to go inside the parent, and in the parent we are going to call the grandparent, right? So we have now put up the grandparent, and you already know that we did an object dot show. Now we will do a obj dot gp. So what it is going to do is obj dot gp is going to go like this. It is going to first go to the child. In the child it will see the parent, then it will go to the parent, and the parent it will finally go to the grandparent, and it is going to call the gp function. So that is how it is going to happen, right? So let's say if I do this you'll get twice display. Okay, see, you see the last one. See, the above one is for the single inheritance and this one is for the multi-level inheritance. This is the child, this is the parent, and this is the grandparent, right? So basically what we did was we told child that you are allowed to access your parent, and then we told that the parent is allowed to have the properties of the grandparent, right? So basically when we did obj.gp, it went to the child because object is for the child. In the child it said that okay, I did not find it over here, I'm going to go over here. It went to the parent and then it did not find in the parent also. So what finally it did was it went to the grandparent, and in the grandparent it found this function of gp, right? So this is your multiple inheritance. Now we do the multi-level inheritance. It's also same, but now the difference over here is that when you are inheriting from more than one parent is called as a multi-level, sorry, multiple inheritance. Sorry, I think I by mistake taught the upper one as multiple. This was a multi-level inheritance, my bad. This is multi-level. Okay, so this is the multi-level inheritance where basically the grandparent, the parent and child, so basically child is inheriting from the parent, parent is inheriting from the grandparent, right? Or you can say one class is inheriting from its parent class, and then the parent class in turn inheriting from another parent class, right? So this is a multiple level of inheritance, or you can say a multi-level inheritance. Now multiple inheritance is when you are having two parents. So rather than doing a parent one, we'll do a grandparent, will do a grandparent one, and then we are going to do a parent two. See, this is a parent one, this is a parent two, and let's remove it from here because grandparent is no more there, right? And then what we are going to do is let me write a print statement, otherwise it will be difficult for you guys to identify. This is multiple inheritance, and then the above one is the multi-level inheritance. And the above one, the first one is the single inheritance, right? So now we have talked about the two, that is the single inheritance, which is one parent and one child. We have talked about multi-level inheritance, where the child is inheriting from the parent and the parent in turn is inheriting from the grandparent. That is how the things are going. And then finally we call nothing but a multiple inheritance. Okay, so in multiple inheritance now we are having mom and dad. So let's say uh, parent 1, right? So I would say P1, and parent 2, so I'll say P2, right? And this is, I will write parent 1, and this is parent 2. And then in the child I'm going to write this is the child, which is right? So now for the child to inherit the parent 1 and parent 2 at the same time is something that is called as a multiple inheritance. So I will do that, parent 1 comma parent 2, right? So now child is inheriting the property of parent 1 and parent 2 both at the same time, right? So now if I do uh, obj dot p2 and obj dot p1, and this is going to be like object created for the child class, but the child class, since it is inheriting from parent 1 and parent 2, so I am going to call p2 and p1 both the functions, right, which are written inside parent 2 and parent 1 respectively, right? So let's run it and see the result. See, obj dot p2 got this is parent 2, and obj dot parent 1 got this is parent 1, right? And this is the multiple inheritance. Now there are two further inheritances that we have to look into, and let me showcase over here. Now uh, these three are generally most common ones, right? Then there are someone that are sometimes asked as the hierarchical inheritance and the hybrid inheritance, right? So quickly go through them. So basically hierarchical inheritance is, where there are multiple child classes but there is a single parent class, right? And hybrid inheritance is the combination of two or more inheritance. So basically you can say multiple inheritance, this is the one, and multi-level inheritance. So basically you are calling uh, two or more than two class. You can even say that the class B and C which are inheriting is also a hierarchical inheritance. So basically you can say it's a hybrid inheritance, right? So basically no need to go through this because you are already learning the other four. So basically if you know the other four you can draw the hybrid inheritance. So let us quickly go through the hierarchical inheritance because people will also talk about that. So let me write this as hierarchical inheritance, right? So let us quickly do that. I'll copy this. Let us copy this and paste it over here, and then we'll do this is hierarchical so this is parent 1, this is parent 1, right? So now we are going to do is this is child 1, okay, this is child 2, and then this is child 3, right? So just give me one. uh, Parent 1. Now let me put this over there as child 1 also, because child 1 is also taking from the parent, and then we will take a child 3 also, right? So class sorry, my bad. Let me copy this, and we will put this like this. This is child 3, and this is going to be parent one. So basically all the three childs are there and they are inheriting from the single parent, right? So this is, we are going to do child 1 1, child 2, and then this is child 3, right? Now what we can do is we can create, we'll have to create three objects now. Obj 1 for child 1, obj 2 for child 2, sorry, child 2, and obj 3 for child 3 right, is equal to child 3, right? And this way, and then what we are going to do is we are going to do obj1. One second, just give me a moment, let me correct the put the display over here. This is child 1, this is child 2, and this is the child 3, right? So now this is the one. Now we will do object obj1 dot p1, uh, okay, obj1 dot p2. Sorry, I'm used to both C++, so that's why I'm putting the semicolons, and obj3 dot p3, which is basically the pointer 3, and now this is done. So once I run it, I will be able to get the value as obj p1, p2, and 3. Just give me one moment. I think by default I put up a, sorry, just give me a moment. It's p1 for both, p1 over here and obj2, right? Sorry, so let me run it again. Yeah, see, so now from all the three objects, that is child 1, child 2, child 3, all are able to reach their one parent, a single parent, that is a parent one, and they are able to inherit the class, the parent class, right? So that is all from the hierarchical inheritance. It's very simple concept. If you would have a look, you will find it that's not so difficult in Python. So basically what we read, let us review again. So first we did the single inheritance, where the class inherits from its parent class, or a child class inherits from the parent. Then we went to the multi-level inheritance, where we saw a grandchild inheriting from the child and child inheriting from the parent, or you can say grandparent. And then we saw that one single child inheriting from the two parents at the same time. And finally we saw the hierarchical inheritance, where we see three children inheriting from a single parent, right? And combination of any of these two or three inheritance will basically be called as a hybrid inheritance. So I think, and I hope that you like this video, and we will see you in the next uh, episode, right? So thanks all.